Hello, hello. I think we're back. I still can't find the link. Let me see if I can find the link somewhere. But apparently, we struck a nerve. And if the mods could possibly drop the link to the new show, I'm trying to find it on the fly.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too, and I'm not seeing it pop up here either. Is anybody out there? Can you hear us?
Is there anybody out there?
Dun, dun, dun.
Does this happen to anybody else's streams all the time, Shady? Look at, we got 4. This one's 49. This is live now. Out there. Here I am. I hear me. Does this happen to anybody else's streams all the time? I got it, Shady. We got 4.
There we are.
All right.
Where are we? Oh my
wow,
goodness.
guys. Welcome back. Tried to... some oddities really happened there. My stream did not go down, but it went down. And then 2 minutes later, my stream monitor said, "Oh, you're off," and tried to reconnect us. It did reconnect us, and I didn't trust it. So here we are. We're back.
Trying to reset. Did anybody find us? Because it doesn't look like the link is up.
I got the link right here, Shades.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it now, but
You
it
got
doesn't
it.
look like it's popping up on our channel for others to find it.
It's okay. So it's not the top live. There's like 3 videos that look the same, and it's one says live now.
Okay.
Let me show
Now
you.
I got it. Now I'm with you guys back. Oh my goodness.
But wow.
What are
So
we doing?
you see this right here? Let's go over here. See this one right here? This is where we're at right here right now. But not here. Or are we there now? Let's see. Yeah, we're here now. Okay. They're up.
Oh.
We're at the top now. All right. Wow, guys. Welcome back to the Matrix Groove, our show, whatever we want to call ourselves. Wow, guys. We're back. Welcome back, everybody. Press 5-5 if you guys can hear us.
Looks like I have got us 5-5.
Awesome. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. I really don't at this moment. My notifications, so 3 live streams. Look at the 5-5s. All right, so let's keep going. We were talking about irregular warfare and insurgency and comparing it to a domestic terrorist organization called Antifa, Shady.
And talking about China sending signals, weren't we?
Yeah, China is helping the protest. And I showed you guys that just a second ago. All right, so this is basically where we left off. They only need the active support of a few enabling individuals, right? Because it's a mindset. You get one guy to throw a brick, and then 5 guys go, "Hey, maybe I'll do it too," right? It's a mindset. It's psychology. They know what they're doing. But the passive acquiescence of the large proportion of the contested population will give a higher probability of success. This is best achieved when the political cause of the insurgency has a strong appeal, manipulating religions, tribal, or local identity to exploit common societal grievances or needs. Insurgents seek to gain control of populations through the combination of a persuasion, subversion, and coercion, while using guerrilla tactics to offset the strengths of the government security forces. Their intent is usually to protract the struggle, exhaust the government, and win sufficient popular support to force capitulation or political accommodation. Consequently, insurgencies evolve through a series of stages, though the progression and outcome will be different in almost every case. Locations, cities, loss of control, decontrolled, define stand down safe haven order, define organized group, define coordination of organized and funded groups in decontrolled safe haven cities across the U.S. Pre-knowledge to groups, and here's the house right here. This is Banks, I believe. This is Jim Banks saying, "Hey, I want FBI to add Antifa to the list of extremist ideologies." That was August 1st. All right, talking to Director Ray. All right, and then Q leads us to another one here, Fitzpatrick. Here's Fitzpatrick saying the same thing. Here we go. Fitzpatrick condemns Antifa and political violence. Now remember, guys, the Trump rallies were all infiltrated by Antifa too. We've got our president saying Antifa, so we know about this. We've had our own Trump people hurt by Antifa. Two Republican senators introduced resolution to label Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, guys. And that's Bill Cassidy and Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz penned a letter. Was it June of last year, Shady? I cannot remember. But thank you for playing. Have a nice day. Q.
And someone out there was asking what we're reading from. This is the Q Post. This is a section from the Counterinsurgency Manual of book of 2009. But realistically, this is the same playbook. This playbook goes way, way back, guys. This playbook goes back into the ancient world.
It does.
You infiltrate. You always infiltrate to divide. You never attempt to divide with force. You
Absolutely.
only can divide with infiltration.
That's right. And you know, so then, well, first of all, hey, Shady. Do you know that it's one of our favorite people's birthdays today?
I do know that. I was going to talk about that a few minutes ago, and then we kind of got off on a tangent.
So, pseudonym.
You get her.
We love you so much. Happy birthday.
To pseudonym.
Oh my God. You're so amazing to us, and we love you. So honored to know you.
Amazing patriot on the wall every day, and has a really awesome story of her own to share with how she came to her current situation. And we love Sue so much, and she does so much for the channel here. So happy birthday, pseudonym. We love you very much.
Oh my God, I love her so much. And I love all you guys here on the wall with us every day. And Sue has got a golden shovel, Shady. She is one of our best diggers, along with Kiwi, you know, Poussin. And, you know, all of you guys are great diggers, right? And I don't know how to express how much we love her, Shady. I don't understand how to do it. I can't in words.
Words don't do it for all of you who have helped us so much and who enjoy the content and everything. There is a camaraderie of unconditional love that we are incubating here, and to each of us are equal.
And her face is red. Good.
Yeah, Stu, where does she go? I don't even see her text. Where is she in there? She got all high.
She's in there. She says, my face is red. And you know, it's interesting too, because when we first met her, she didn't really talk a lot. Remember, we had to kind of goad her out. Come on, Sue.
Reel her out of her shell a little bit.
We did. And we love her so much. She's amazing. She set up the Q Army Plus Discord. I mean, she's done so much for us, Shady. I'm getting chills right now. So Sue, I love you so very much. And big virtual hug to my oh my gosh, one of my best friends out there, Shady.
Yes, sir.
Here it is, Shady. This is 4354. This is the Anti-Faschiste Action in Germany. That's around 39, give or take. And then the Anti-Fascist Action here in the U.S. Wow.
It's completely different.
No, it's the same.
Oh, it's the same.
Pretty much.
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. Anti-American domestic terrorists, organized, fascists, extreme radicals, violent, POTUS action coming, Homeland Security, FBI, DOJ action coming. Investigations may lead to Democrat foreign support targets. Q.
I think that we've got some people on the string.
Uh-huh.
And that could be domestic and foreign as well.
Domestic and foreign, yes, not just Democrat, because you got to realize this is not R&D.
Not right and left.
Not right and left. This is what they want. Shady, take it away. Oh, you should do Echo.
Echo it.
Yeah, 4355. Shady's going to do this one. It was 5:30, 2020 at 12:37. Shady, take it away.
They want you divided. They want race wars.
I don't hear the echo.
They want class wars. You don't hear it?
Yeah, I want the echo. Who wants the echo? Press 17 if you guys want the echo.
Here it is.
Do it.
They want you divided. They want race wars. They want class wars. They want religious wars. They want political wars. For God and country, learn, stay strong, stay together.
Boom. Love it, Shady. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for I needed to smile. Yeah, and again, this is a very somber day, and it's okay. But we need to turn this around. That's why I'm trying to show you, Shady and I are trying to show you some of the goodness that's happening out there in our country, right?
Yeah, because it's good. It is good that we are seeing it. I know it's terrible to look at and it causes an emotional response, but the idea that we are seeing it and that your friends and family are seeing it and understanding that there's a difference between a protester and a violent Antifa is helping you. It is helping us wake people up more than you know.
Yes, yes. And EG says, keep your chins up. How did EG know I have more than one chin?
How many chins you got?
I got more chins than the Chinese phone book, brother. Oh, no, is that racist? No, it's just funny, guys. All right, so this is, China is what?
China is asshole.
I love it. EG, thank you. I love you guys. Dawn, love you. Beverly, Q Beverly says, Kate Nana likes it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for sharing the goodness. Helen Garley, we love you. And Grandpa C says, chinny chin chin. I love you guys. All right, so this is domestic terrorism activities that appear to be intended to influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion, or to affect the conduct of a government by mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping. Hashtag Antifa.
Yep. That's your domestic terrorists.
That's it. Right there. Now, here we go. This is humanity at its finest. Let's go check this out. This is amazing. Here we go. This is who we are, guys. This is who you are. That's who we are. Mods, quick question.
That's Americans.
That's America. That's who 99% of us are. Is there a presser going on right now? POTUS.
POTUS is live?
I don't know. Someone just said. Let me just go look. But this is going to be one to watch, guys. If he's live right now. Here it is. Live stream. Here it is. Oh, it's okay. Here we go. Let's check her out.
President Trump is demanding action to protect American citizens, to protect American businesses. 17,000 National Guard are deployed in 24 states. But according to General Milley, only 2 states have deployed more than 1,000. There are 350,000 National Guard available overall. And for the lawlessness we are seeing, far more needs to be done. Governors across the country must act, deploy the National Guard as it's fit, and protect American communities. As President Trump has said repeatedly, it's very important that we have peaceful protesters and support the right of peaceful protesters, but we cannot allow a situation like what happened in Minneapolis to descend further into lawless anarchy and chaos. And we understand that very well. And with that, I'll take questions. Yes.
To your point, the country is in crisis. There's a global pandemic that has claimed more than 100,000 lives. At least 40 million people are unemployed. There are now protests and racial tension ripping apart many cities. Where is the president? Why has he not delivered an address to the nation, as many of his predecessors have in a time of domestic crisis?
So the president has delivered multiple statements on this. The president, as recently as 48 hours ago, was out talking about what a tragedy the death of George Floyd was, how it has weighed on his heart, and how he encourages peace and lawfulness in our streets and peaceful protests. So he has said that repeatedly. He's made many statements to this effect, but what I would note is continual statements, as he's made day and day and day and day again, they don't stop anarchy. What stops anarchy is action, and that's what the president is working on right now.
To that point about the anarchists, you said this morning that the president is focused right now on rooting out Antifa. George Floyd did not die in Antifa custody. He died in police custody. What's the president doing to reform policing tactics and excessive use of force by police?
Yeah, so it's an important question for sure. And this president, if you look at the actions his DOJ has taken, there's a civil rights investigation into the death of Ahmaud Arbery. There's a civil rights investigation into the death of George Floyd. It is a tragedy what we saw. I mentioned to you that the president was extremely upset when he saw that video. And he continues to, the DOJ DOJ continues to pursue those charges. And he's recognized injustices for a long time, since he was a candidate. He talked about Sandra Bland and what a terrible video that was, too. So he recognizes injustices where they are, but at the same time, he also recognizes that we can't allow organized groups like Antifa to commit some of the heinous acts that we've seen. John.
Kelly, in his call with the governors, the president said that he had put General Milley in charge of all this. What does that mean?
Yeah, so
Chief of Staff in charge of policing American streets. What did he mean?
So I'm not going to get ahead of any actions that will be announced, but what I will say to you is this, that he has had 2 briefings today with Secretary Esper and AG Barr, and General Milley was there, and there will be additional federal assets deployed across the nation. There will be a central command center in conjunction with the state and local governments that will include General Milley, Secretary Esper, and AG Barr, but I won't go any further in announcing what actions.
Can you explain what the president meant when he told the governors, I am put General Milley in charge? What does that mean? That sounds like a total break here. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff being in charge of a domestic issue.
And ensuring that, as the president has said, and this has been taken out of context, by the way, that our streets are dominated with a police force and with a National Guard presence, so that, let me explain a little bit about how this works. If there's a peaceful protest, police will form a line. And what we've seen are those lines have been overwhelmed by massive protests that have turned into riots, the peaceful protests to be distinguished from the riots we've seen. And when those lines are overwhelmed, law enforcement gets on the defense. So what the president has said is he wants to dominate the streets with National Guard, with a police presence, and what studies have shown, as General Milley noted, he was in that governor's call, and his points all pertain to the National Guard, and he noted that there are several studies that when there's an overwhelming National Guard presence, it actually de-escalates the situation and causes less civil unrest. So General Milley has really been on point in talking about the National Guard, the effectiveness, and ensuring that they're utilized to great effect across the country.
What's been taken out of context? Because I mean, I have the exact quote. It's a very simple one. He just says that he has put General Milley in charge.
No, I wasn't suggesting that quote was out of context. The dominate. I've seen some networks that have talked about dominating protesters, and I've been around the president all day. Anytime he's used the word dominate, it was with regard to dominating the streets and ensuring that we have peace in our streets. Yes. Yes, Scott.
Thanks. In addition to the tough talk the president has been talking about taking action against looters and some of the violent elements in the protests that we've seen, why isn't he also supplementing that message by calling on these people to remain calm, to go home, to not destroy property, businesses, so on?
Yeah, he has done that repeatedly. Look, he talked about understanding the pain that people are feeling, and he does understand that pain. He's talked several times about the right to peacefully protest, and I've seen some of these peaceful protests, some of these sit-ins, and it's a real shame when you have anarchy and anarchists come in and you have Antifa come in, and it really dilutes the message of the protesters, and it's a legitimate reason they're protesting. So he hates to see Antifa come in and really dampen that message, which has been in many cases peaceful, but has been overtaken and overwhelmed by an organized effort of people from out of state coming in and causing havoc.
Is he traveling on Friday? Is he going to Maine?
He still plans on going to Maine. I haven't heard any other changes to that effect. Yeah. We just.
Thank you.
I like your mask. That's really cool.
I have a quick follow-up about police reform. National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien says he does not think there is systemic racism among law enforcement in the U.S. Does President Trump share that view?
Look, I think where the president stands is he does not believe, he fundamentally rejects the idea that these egregious actions of these 4 Minnesota officers are representative of our police force as a whole. Most of our officers in this country are good, hardworking men and women who work every day to police our streets. He's recognized cases of injustice. I noted Sandra Bland back when he was in the primary. I've noted more recently Ahmaud Arbery and then George Floyd. So he recognizes these injustices. He puts a focus on them, but he also recognizes our valiant police officers who have taken to the streets each and every night over the last 6 nights and protected our communities.
And on Antifa, can you explain what the legal authority the president is for designating Antifa as a terrorist organization? And can you also talk about why he does not want to label white supremacist groups that are domestically located as terrorist organizations as well.
So let me address the first part about legal authority. Title 18, Section 2331 allows that the term, it defines domestic terrorism as involving acts dangerous to human life that appear intended to influence the policy of a government, and other elements are laid out, and it allows the Department of Justice, when utilizing this statute, to invoke greater investigatory authority and to invoke harsher penalties. I would note that the Justice Department has in the past used domestic terrorism in consultation with acts of white supremacy or what were racially motivated acts. Like in April 2020, a Florida man pled guilty to threatening an African-American Charlottesville City Council candidate. And at that time, the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force was utilized. Same in the case of February 2020, where it was used in connection to 4 racially motivated violent extremists. And I would also note supremacy and racism. There is no place in society for these egregious, despicable ideologies. Jen.
Why haven't you designated any white nationalist groups as terrorist organizations?
It has been used. I explained how in this case that domestic terrorism will be used as a way that the crime is prosecuted. It's a prosecutorial method, and it was utilized in the same exact way with regard to white supremacy. Yes.
Kaylee, on the Minnesota police officers, is he suggesting that they should be charged as well as the officer who's already been charged, the other 3? And also on Antifa, can you explain a little bit about how would he know, or how is he talking about how he would identify members of Antifa? Since they're a very loose organization, it would be very difficult to tell who is part of Antifa.
So first, I was just on the call with the president where he expressed his dismay with those 3 officers who watched. I'll leave it to the state to pursue those charges if they decide to. It was the state that pursued the initial charge, but the president has expressed his complete dismay with those actions. With Antifa, I do think it's important to note that they are a big element of this protest. AG Barr has noted that. Ambassador O'Brien has noted that. We have ample evidence that DOJ has received indicating that Antifa is responsible for that unrest. But as to exactly how Antifa is identified, that would be more of a question for DOJ. Yes.
When you talk about additional federal assets, does the president have authority to deploy forces across the country beyond the National Guard?
He does. And look, we're looking at every tool in the federal toolkit available to us. You know, ideally, this would have been resolved at the state level. The states, after all, have the police power embedded in the 10th Amendment, and it is their responsibility to patrol their streets. But you're right to say that there are many federal authorities, including the one you cited, available to us.
Did you bring this up with the governors in the phone call today?
The focus of the call with the governors was really the National Guard, not that specific tool in the toolkit that you mentioned, but the National Guard and how it should be utilized much stronger than it's currently being utilized. Yes, I will go to, let's see, Jeff.
Okay, thanks. Following up on what John was asking earlier, Governor Whitmer, she said she found the president's call today deeply disturbing, and she said the president told the governors they need to put it down or they would be overridden. So what, I mean, is there a specific authority he's using? Because as you know, Posse Comitatus really prevents the use of the army to put down domestic insurrection of any kind.
Yeah, I don't know why Governor Whitmer would be dismayed at the president telling governors to do their job. It is their responsibility to police their streets. They have the police power embedded in the Constitution. They have quite clearly, many of them, failed to do their job. Look at the scenes we have seen. And it's gotten to the point where today the president has said, enough is enough. You know, there are tools I can use, namely deploying National Guard, many others that Steve cited one, the Insurrection Act. It's one of the tools available, whether the president decides to pursue that, that's his prerogative. Right now, we're looking at a focus on the National Guard. That's where it currently stands. And, you know, there's a distinction between the National Guard and military forces in the street. I would note the National Guard are the friends and neighbors in these communities who are used. And as I noted, the study from General Milley used to great effect when they are deployed. So the focus of the call was the National Guard, encouraging the deployment, far more than the 17,000 out there, and utilizing them this evening, certainly.
Would you like to see 100,000 National Guard on the street or 200,000?
I won't put a number on it. I think it's incumbent on governors to look at the situation. You know, a case in Texas might not merit the same thing as, you know, New York City. So he's encouraging the governors to up those levels, but there's not a specific number that he has in mind. David.
Kaylee, there is a perception that the president is hiding in the bunker on the racial protest issue. He was literally put in the bunker on Friday night by the Secret Service. I mean, Would you agree that he is hiding out on this issue, and is that a good posture to be in?
I would not agree with that at all. Look, I was on the phone with the president at least half a dozen times yesterday, and every time I talked to him, he was telling me about a different action he had taken, whether it was talking to a governor about this or a foreign leader about ventilators. This president has been leading. He met with generals yesterday. He's each and every moment taking another action to try to solve and resolve what we've seen in our streets where the governors have failed. He's stepped in. He's acting. He's hard at work. You've heard from him on this issue any number of times, and he's working because that's the job of the president, is to keep this country safe.
Well, we haven't heard him on camera that much. Is he going to give some kind of speech or a specific event about all these disturbances in hundreds of cities?
I really think that that's a misnomer in the media.
She's amazing,
really
guys.
Appalling some of the coverage I saw
45
in the
for
New York
Kaylee.
Times yesterday.
Let's see 45s.
Made no mention of the myriad times that the president has spoken on this issue. Instead, in paragraph 14, they made a cursory mention of his remarks at Space Force, most of which, at least half of which, pertain to George Floyd. There was a Washington Post article with an egregious headline about Trump staying silent. He hasn't been silent on this. I have a whole list of his remarks there, and instead, paragraph 23, they note, oh wait, we're contradicting our own headline. The president did in fact make remarks. Contrary to the silent headline, you had Don Lemon on CNN saying at 9:38 p.m. on Saturday night, the president's been silent. Ironically, that comment came 4 hours after the president was quite audibly speaking at this issue. I was there for the remarks, and then you had CNN double down the next day, Sunday afternoon, saying the president was silent. And I don't want to bore you with reading out all of his statements, but it sounds like I should read a few, like the president saying it's a grave tragedy that filled Americans all over the country with horror, anger, and grief, and I stand before you as a friend and ally to every American seeking justice. He said, I understand the pain the people are feeling. I can go on, but I would just be repeating what the president has already said, because make no mistake, this president has not been silent, and at this moment, he is acting to protect this country from the lawlessness we saw just out here in Lafayette Park last night. Yes.
In a particularly egregious act, St. John's Church, Church of the Presidents, was targeted last night. Graffiti all over, set on fire. What is the president's reaction to that, please?
It's hurtful, honestly. I think it's hurtful on a number of levels. Look, the VA was defaced. Literally the word veteran spray painted out of the placard in front of the Department of Veteran Affairs. The Lincoln Memorial defaced. How does that make much sense? The place where the March on Washington began, that momentous occasion in the history of civil rights, that memorial was defaced last night. That doesn't honor the legacy of George Floyd. It doesn't. And certainly not the burning of St. John's Church. Look, St. John's, I think it's important to go through a little bit of this, but Reverend John C. Harper was the St. John's rector many centuries ago, at least decades, centuries and a few decades ago. And here's what he was told. He was told he needed to close St. John's because he couldn't leave it open for the March on Washington because, quote, it might be a bloodbath. But he stood boldly. He stood boldly and he stood on the side of justice. And on the day the March on Washington happened, here's what was sung from that church. One family on earth are we throughout its widest span. Oh, help us everywhere to see the brotherhood of man. And of course, we know that the March on Washington ended with Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. giving that incredible speech, I Have a Dream. And that church, the same church that was burning last night, here is what they said, taking that bold stance to support Martin Luther King. They said this church building is open as it has always been. So all who want to worship here, the ministry of this parish is extended to any who seek it. Our fellowship with one another has no limitations whatsoever. That church supported the bold civil rights moment of the March on Washington, which began at the Lincoln Memorial. That doesn't honor the legacy of George Floyd.
She is amazing, guys. Wow.
And those are violent anarchists, Antifa, who are taking advantage of the pain of people, the pain of the peaceful protesters. It's inexcusable, and we have to stand as one America against the burning of the church and the defacement of the Lincoln Memorial. Chanel.
Beast mode.
Kaylee,
I love it.
Is it possible that D.C. will be placed under martial law in order to protect these national monuments from further destruction? And second, under the Civil Rights Act of '68, will this administration investigate either members of Congress or political organizations who are
There's
funding
Chanel OAN, guys.
to Antifa moving forward?
Yeah, you know, on Antifa, I think at this point we're pursuing the domestic terrorism angle. That's what the DOJ has decided. And what was your first question was about martial law?
Law to protect national monuments in D.C.
Yes, so I have not heard that discussed. Any other questions? Yes.
Thank you. Can you confirm a phone call earlier today between Presidents Trump and Putin? And if so, considering what the president said to governors later in the day, did he ask President Putin for advice on how to quell unrest in his own country?
I don't have any details on that call. I wasn't a part of it, I'm not entirely certain what was discussed, but the call did take place. Yes.
Does the president regret using phrases like when the shooting starts, the looting starts, the shooting starts, and phrases like vicious dogs? Is he considering apologizing?
So the president on the looting point, he was taken wildly out of context. Twitter, it's interesting to watch. I've seen multiple instances of real incitement of violence on Twitter, but they've never penalized those users. Like, for instance, Iran, we've seen horrific tweets from the Iranian regime about the elimination of the Zionist regime, to quote them, and that was never flagged. Interesting that their gut instinct was to flag the president, and they did so in an accurate way. The president very clearly laid out what he meant by that tweet, that looting leads to shooting, and we have seen the unfortunate killing of one person in Minneapolis. There were 7 people shot in a St. Louis riot a few nights ago, and the president clearly laid out what he meant. But it is interesting to watch the gut instinct of Twitter to go ahead and label what the president said as somehow inciting violence, which it absolutely was not. But look, I want to say this. We cannot let violence and we cannot let looting and a few bad actors divide us as an American people. The American spirit is defined by love and mutual acceptance and kindness. And despite the horrific scenes we've seen play throughout the media, there's some things that we haven't seen. And I think it's important for the American people to see them. And Judd, I'm going to call for that soundbite now of some video that I think it's very important for us all to watch.
We want to be with y'all for real. So I took my helmet off and laid the batons down. Yeah. I want to make this a parade, not a protest. Not 1 ounce of damage. Nobody's arrested. Nobody got hurt. This is the way it's supposed to be.
I don't want them to be hurt. Don't hurt them no more. I love you, man. I love you, man. I know you're doing great today. I got this shit. Now that's no way you get your ass looking today. I love you.
Louisville, a human chain protecting an officer separated from his unit.
We're here with you. All right? Okay? Okay? We're all here together, okay?
Across the country, we've seen examples of police protecting protesters and protesters embracing police, and it's been beautiful to watch, though those images have not been played all that often. And I just want to leave you with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. that we must learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Wow, guys. Shady, are you here, brother? And what we just witnessed, was an amazing,
that was pretty incredible,
smart, prepared person.
Hey, Matrix, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Oh, Shady. You guys can hear me in chat. I'm in the Matrix. I was in the Matrix to you, Shady. Will you take it 1 second? I've got to say goodbye to my daughter, guys. But this woman, Shady, Kaylee, oh my God. Badass. Take it for 1 second. I just got to go say goodbye to my lovely daughter. She's heading over to her mom's house. Shady, just take it for about 2 minutes. I love
problem.
you guys.
I hope everybody, I hope all of you were paying extra attention there, because that was pretty epic. She handles them like a magician. They cannot penetrate her, and she has fended off all of the attacks. Look at each of those attacks that have come up against her, and she's fended them off. They literally are standing up for Antifa. They are standing up against your country. They are going against your president. They even ran the lie about him being in the bunker from, running away from people, and he was silent all weekend and didn't say anything. Like, these are multiple different bogus attacks on your president and on our country, guys. Like, this is it's our country. It's not theirs. Remember, it's our country, yours and mine. They all work for you. All of them are elected officials, governors, mayors, judges. Elected officials work for you, and what they're doing is they're trying to make it seem like you belong to them. They are literally running a game against America, against freedom, against liberty, and they do not want the normal people. That's why I think Kaylee was showing that and showing the montage at the end. Notice that even the video that Q tagged, she showed in that, talking about unity, talking about what? Where we go one, we go all. Where we go one, we go all. The divisive nature of our enemy doesn't get that. Remember, the divisive nature of our enemy is the exact opposite of where we go one, we go all. They have to live in division. Their power comes from division. And what you're seeing today and what you're seeing all across this nation is unity coming back to the conversation. Unity is our strength. That is our rock, our bedrock for freedom. Without that, then we become controlled by the people we elect to serve us. And Kaylee McEnany is stunningly stellar at that job, my brother. She is amazing.
You know, and I really like Sarah. But I'm telling you,
I did too.
Kaylee just takes it up another level, dude.
And also with Sarah, you know, Sarah was kind of, remember, she was a bit in the box. Like, you know, she couldn't go out and talk about a lot of these different things because of the Mueller investigation and all of these other things that were going on. She could only say so much, and she would defend from that position. But Kaylee is defending from the truth position.
Yes, and wow, is she prepared too? I'm telling you, I'm really respecting what she's doing there. Oh my gosh. And the like, she had everything there. They destroyed our president's church, dude. They scratched out veterans.
Yep. They defaced the Lincoln Memorial and the other monuments there in DC, and there was other damage to museums and stuff like that, you know, irreparable stuff is being destroyed.
And remember, there's probably, you know, let's just use a number. For example, there's 100 protesters and 1% of them are doing the bad stuff, folks. And maybe a couple other percent kind of gets in on it because it's a herd. It's a mentality. Like, and I don't know if you've even experienced it when you were a kid, right? You had one friend do stuff bad and you kind of said, oh, well, let me throw the snowball too at the cop car. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It is a mentality. Antifa, yes, Antifa is, you know, most of the people out there is, bottom line, most of the people that are out there, guys, are good people, actually wanting to mourn.
And that's true for the whole world.
But have you ever done that, Shady? You ever had a buddy, like, this happened to me and I got in trouble. Hey, let's throw snowballs at cars. And here I go. Okay, my first one, guess what? I threw one at a police car. I was dumb. But I learned my lesson.
There's something good to be said for learning quick.
Quick learning. And, you know, the best thing is, you know, nobody is perfect, and I get that. But there are, N2Q, Kev, more good people than bad, 110,000%.
But,
yes.
But, you know, we also have to bring into the conversation the weaponized mind. Okay, so we think about all of this stuff going on, and the weaponized mind is one that is saturated with fluoride, saturated with monosodium glutamate, saturated with vaccination, saturated with antibodies, saturated with human material. Okay, a cannibalistic type mentality unfolds whenever tensions and emotions are escalated, and it becomes a herd movement. It becomes like instinctual, and as opposed to having common sense, as opposed to using your brain and using your logic to deduce the world around you, you react. And that reacting nature, problem, reaction, solution.
Boom.
Remember the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution works on micro as well as macro, both levels. This is the division tactic that they are using against our nation, and it's not going to work. I mean, I know that they think it's going to work. I see that they're running a game on us like it's going to work, but I'm promising you, as Shady sits here, it's not going to work. America is not divided. We have a decent amount of bad apples, but we got to spot them. And once we spot them, then we're going to get rid of them. And the peaceful nature to America will return. But who knows how long this duration is going to be.
Shady, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that my peaceful America has never left. Your peaceful America has never left. You look on the TV, peaceful America left.
Correct.
Because, you know, like I said earlier, when I was in New York City, it was pretty busy. And there was a homeless man, and he actually fell down. And there was a guy with a suit and his briefcase. He walked up, put down his briefcase, and helped that man up. Dusted him off, didn't say a word, picked up his briefcase and kept moving. That's who we are, folks. Right here, right now. That's who you are, Shady.
And that's who you are.
That's who you, and that Lucas, that's how you are. Medical cannabis, that's how you are. Pseudonym, I know that's how she is, and Poussant too. Deplorable Isles, that's who you are. We treat people as individuals. We all have to stay together. We all have to keep, you know, and I'm so sorry because I did feel a little, I think I needed Kaylee. She got my mood elevated, dude, like big time. I needed Kaylee today. She is amazing. And what the goodness of the videos that we've showed you, that there's good people out there, guys. There are a lot of good people. There's people saying, hey, that's a white person putting Black Lives Matter. They're going to think we did it. Yep. And there's a lot of great people. There's a lady that said, hey, you're giving black men bricks. What the hell's your problem? And there's white people in the car handing people bricks, guys. And I don't mean to say black and white because it doesn't frickin' matter. The color doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
The problem is this media is so weaponized. So weaponized. And that's why you, Shady, me, Praying Medic, Lisa Crowley, Carly, LK, all you guys, I can't even count you all, are the news now, Shady.
And the reason is because we bring the message of peace and unity.
Yes.
Because think about this, like there is no news, even going back to the old Don Henley song, or, it's like, I make my living on the evening news. Just give me something I can use.
Dirty laundry.
It's all about dirty laundry. It's all about the negative story that you will not see on the news, unity stories ever. And now we know the reason for that isn't just because if it bleeds, it leads. The reason for that is because we have to insert this narrative of division, and it takes decades and decades for it to become ingrained into people's minds. And now look at how everything is being spun in the media. They are the enemy of the people because they're there as a fourth estate. A free press is completely infiltrated.
Yes. Real Mentoring out there praying for you. She says, I'm burned out to reach out or trust anyone. Too much abuse over the years. I'll just keep lurking. Well, we love you, Real Mentoring. You've got a home here. I'm burned out too, Shady. I can barely keep up with everything. This is hard. This is hard. Hard Knocks needs a hug. You got it, man. You got it. I got you. I got your hugs right here. You're amazing. You guys are all amazing. Q post 4354 Shady. We already went through this one. I'm so sorry. You read that one in echo. This is Matt Finn. Humanity at its finest, guys. This is us. Oh yeah, we did this one too. Okay. I'm a little bit behind, my friends. Shady, where are we? Okay, this is it too. Wow. You guys saw this, right, Shady?
Yeah, and even Kaylee just showed the clip of this.
Yes.
And showed the clip of the young man who was hugging the police officer that Q just posted as well.
That made me cry. Where is that Donald Trump tweet? Here it is. Here it is.
Come on, y'all.
Donald Trump just tweeted this too, Shady. 17 seconds long. Let's check it out.
Yep, and we were passing this around over the weekend.
Yep.
Go get everything you can find. Go get everything you can find.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. This is the team.
Paying people, dude.
There's more stuff that we can put out here. Hey, there's 3 picnic tables up here. There's a couple picnic tables up here. Let's go. Come on, y'all.
Wow. Wow. He looks like a leprechaun, says Busan. Hey, he looks like a wee leprechaun, Shady. Wow. All right, so let's keep going through these guys. Here we go. This is the next one. This is the Daily Caller status says, be vigilant. Let's check it out. Oh, we played this earlier, but this is right.
Initial charges have been filed.
Antifa-like tactics. RAG Bar is going after him. That's all we need to know right there, Shady.
Yes, and it's going to happen too.
Now we need to update the list because FBI's top lawyer, Dana Boente, ousted amid Fox News criticism for role in Flynn investigation.
This guy is super swamp.
Super swamp and out, bro.
Yes, sir. And the orders to fire him did not come from the FBI. They came from the DOJ.
Yes, sir.
You know, that we're getting rid of the next layer of swamp, the ones that have been sort of hiding in plain sight there, and the FBI.
Meanwhile, we have riots in San Francisco. Meanwhile, we have riots over here. Meanwhile, hey, Schiff, look at you declassed all your stuff and everybody told the truth under oath and there's no collusion. Meanwhile, we have a riot. COVID. Yep. What's COVID?
Mm-hmm. Huh. COVID.
Right. COVID. All right, so update the list. So here you go, Shady. The Insurrection Act of 1807. Determination that the various state and local authorities are not up to the task of responding to the growing unrest. Call the ball. Q.
And I think that's what Kaylee just said.
Yes, sir.
He just said we're calling the ball on this. We're not going to take another night of this. The president will activate the National Guard. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot more National Guard presence. And I would also like to encourage you, if you encounter your National Guard out there, to thank them.
Yes.
Do not go. They're not there to do anything to anyone who is peacefully protesting. I promise you.
Absolutely. 100% Shady. And
it's not going to be like the weaponized National Guard that you saw in the 60s that were controlled by the cabal that were ordered to shoot people.
Yeah, and there's 17,000 Shady National Guards. How many?
Just a coincidence.
17,000. All right, Shady. So this is your Insurrection Act. It is 1807. It is coupled with Posse Comitatus. It is actually to try to help, make sure that the president doesn't have overarching power, if you will. But if there's lawlessness, rebellion, the state can't handle it. That's why your National Guard is here.
That's why your president is the chief law enforcement officer.
That's right. So,
like I said, they are not there to harm anyone. They are there to the National Guard can actually capture people. They can arrest people.
Yep. Underneath, right now, apparently they can't. They have to have an officer with them, but I think that's just out of, courtesy?
That's not necessarily the case because we are currently under a national emergency.
Gotcha.
And because we are under a countrywide state of national emergency, it falls back on the chief executive office, which would be the president.
Every citizen in every community has the right to be safe in their workplace, safe in their homes, and safe on our city streets. This is the sacred right of all Americans that I'm totally determined to defend. Your president.
Thank
On ready, God save America, Q. Oh God, this is bad. Speechless. That's Chicago. That's New World Order Mayor Beetlejuice, Shady.
Yes, Beetlejuice, who said everyone's going to stay in their house, period.
We will hunt you down. We will arrest you, period. She looked like
Doesn't
Beetlejuice.
seem like they're doing much arresting.
No. My God, folks. That's hard to watch. There's another one that's hard to watch, too.
But we have to watch it.
So check this out, my friend. Where is this thread? This is May 31st, right? Here we're in May 31st now. I want to show you something, too, because it's really kind of cool. I did this underneath the tweet at 12:26, Shady, of Trump's tweet. And Q'd it. Somebody brought it over to the boards. It's either the hive mind is alive and well, because we're all thinking the same thing, which I do believe that is the case. We're all understanding this stuff. And boom, look at that. 5-minute delta.
Nice.
6-minute delta. Love it. So that I thought was amazing. And because it's true. I mean, this is what's happening, guys. We are understanding that they're a terrorist organization. Finally, Shady. Finally. But you know, the Dems wouldn't do it. Why do you think that is, my friend?
Because they are the militant aspect of the D party.
Right.
And, you know, if you go back and you listen, Obama spoke specifically about creating the youth militancy in America to help stand up for social justice.
Right.
This is what they call this social justice.
There's no justice. They're just hurting people, Shady. And so this is it. I know we're beyond the need for Q proofs, but, and then we got Ingram status. And the key word here is insurgency, Q. Here we go. Let's head on over there. Boom. All right. They want a civil war. This has been their aim for decades, even during Obama years. Social media made their insurgency more efficient. And it goes to Bongino that has this. The left formally divorced itself from America last night. They are domestic terrorists and enemies of the United States, and they should be treated as such. Wow.
Pretty disturbing.
Yep. And here's the next one, 4363, Shady. This is the PDF again. Insurgency can be defined as the organized use of subversion and violence to seize, nullify, or challenge political control of a region. Insurgents seek to subvert or displace the government and completely or partially control the resources and population of a given territory. They do so through the use of force, including guerrilla warfare, terrorism, and coercion, intimidation, propaganda, subversion, and political mobilization. Insurgents fight government forces only to the extent needed to achieve their political aims. Their main effort is not to kill counterinsurgents, but to rather establish competitive system of control over the population, making it impossible for the government to administer its territory and people. Insurgent activity is therefore designed to weaken government control and legitimacy while increasing insurgent control and influence. Insurgents require supporters, recruits, safe havens, money, supplies, weapons, and intelligence on government actions. A robust insurgency can be waged with the support of just a small percentage of a given population. Next, counterinsurgency may be defined as comprehensive civilian and military efforts taken to simultaneously defeat and contain insurgency and address its root causes. Q. And then Anon says, and address its root causes. Please and thank you. And Q reposted that.
Like I said, we got to get the generals.
Yep.
Remember how we took out the general with Soleimani?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing with this.
Wow. All right, Shady. This
the guy
is
the guy you saw on the street orchestrating the guy to create destruction was a general in the army of Antifa.
Right.
And we know quite a few of them. Even so, with this couple of what was it? What were they from? The couple college professors that were arrested over the weekend for starting fires.
Right. And that the girl that tried to light the 4 police officers in New York City on fire.
Yep.
She was arrested, and she had another charge of rioting and stuff, guys. All right, so this is Attorney General Barr's statement on riots and domestic terrorism. I think this is kind of what he talked about earlier, Shady.
Yes. This is a summation, I think.
The violence instigated and carried out by Antifa and other similar groups in connection with the rioting is domestic terrorism and will be treated accordingly. Boom. Just that one sentence, Shady, is amazing. Right? And here we go. Antifa mapping started a long time ago. Q. Check this out, guys. This is Corticon. The president retweeted Corticon and said strength. And Corticon said, we knew this moment would arrive. We are the calm before, during, and after the storm. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back, and retreat, eventually we will have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? Reagan. God wins. And oh my gosh, trolling is fun. Q. So that's amazing, Shady, eh? Wait, I turned Canadian again.
Yeah, I mean, that's a retweet by the president with a where we go, one we go all hashtag.
Yes, sir. And we all know Corticon, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Where we go, one we go.
All.
All. Every single one of us, folks. This is Buckle Up. Here we go. Q. Here we go, Shady.
Also, he has just tweeted about Philadelphia and somehow saying it is the fault of the elected officials, but only really saying that the blame lies with those who are Democrats, which is significant, Stephanie. And I believe as he is taking on Antifa, if I'm not mistaken, the president has just elevated something that comes from QAnon, another extremist group. So as he's trying to take on one, he seems to be amplifying another. The president didn't have any events here open to the cameras here.
Are you extremist, Shady?
No, sir.
Are you guys extremist out there?
I am center of the road, my friend. I'm the absolute opposite of extremist. I walk right in the middle of both the political ideologies. Called a centrist libertarian.
And Brad reminds us Twitter removed Corticon's account right after that. That's so true.
Yeah, they did. They took his account down right after that.
So I guess freedom is extreme, Shady.
Freedom is extreme whenever you are a communist dictator. Yes.
So to them, we would look extreme, correct?
That's correct.
Because our founding fathers were extremists, weren't they?
Yeah, because whenever you have a communist ideology, then you think the state should be in control of everything. So someone exhibiting freedom would be an extremist, yes?
100%, Shady. Mm-hmm. I have a red pen, and so do you. So does everybody. Everybody has a red pen. Communism. All right, here we go. Buckle up. Here we go. And humanity at its finest. Together, Shady, and everybody out there, we win.
We win.
Here we go. Just check it out. This is who we are, guys. This is who we are. Keep America great.
Hello. Stay safe. Good.
Boom.
You know what they don't realize? What they don't realize is that we're a nation of builders. We built this country from our hands. We built it. So go ahead, Antifa. Go ahead, far left extremists. Do your spray painting. Do your destruction. Break windows. Destroy shops. Steal goods. Go right on ahead. You know what we're going to do? We're going to put it back together tomorrow.
Yep.
So go ahead. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much effort it takes us as the American people. You saw that right there. There were all different sorts of races working together, fixing stuff that other people messed up. We will continue to do that right on until you stop destroying stuff. So you think that you're going to set this big marker and make this big stink and make all this fear go around? Well, we're going to come right behind you and we're going to clean it up and we're going to speak to unity and we're going to move forward without you.
And we're going to make it better. Better.
Yes, sir.
Wow. They will not win, Pickles. That's right. November 3rd, 11/3. You need to see Trump. Anarchists, we see you. Justin, we played that here, my friend. Here we go. This is 4370. Trump students. Okay, here we go.
It's only a
Start
question
this
of...
over again.
I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefit of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
That's my president right there, folks. He didn't need to do this. He didn't need to do this, Shady.
Sure didn't. He did it for you.
Well, I think he did need to do this because nobody stepped up. Remember the Rona Barrett, I think, interview back in the 80s? He's hoping somebody will step up so he doesn't have to run for president. Remember that one?
Yep.
Pretty interesting. So this is false, guys. Remember that question that guy said that, they put Trump in a bunker, right? False. Woodshed utilized regarding intelligence management monitoring of situations Q. It's not a bunker. It's monitoring intelligence. Say it again, Shady. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that the woodshed is the situation room, not a bunker.
That's right. So Yashar Ali, nervous for his safety, Secret Service agents abruptly rushed the president to underground bunker used in the past during terrorist attacks. False. And apparently, it's not loading. There it is. So look at that. New York Times, fake news, guys. Fake news. You are the news now. Here we go to the next one, Shady. All assets being deployed. People used as pawns controlled. Q. Mark Levin. There's an insurrection taking place now. Anarchy. The governors must send in the National Guard. The president must now lay legal predicate for potentially sending in the regular military. Shady.
Hashtag Marines.
Hashtag get 'em. All leaders of Antifa must be rounded up ASAP. The citizens in these communities are being terrorized by violent mobs.
It's true.
It is also now a national security issue. Take it, Shady.
This is Q number 4373. You are witnessing the greatest coordinated disinformation campaign to ever be launched against the American people. Information warfare, infiltration versus invasion, insurgency, irregular warfare, D, efforts to regain power. Q, all caps.
All caps.
Irregular warfare at its finest.
Infiltration rather than invasion. Yeah. Insurgency.
They did themselves a disservice, folks.
And Q did post, be strong in the Lord. That comes from Ephesians, the armor of God, right? Ephesians. I can say it right. That's 30. So we're already done with that one, Shady. This is that one. Let me see if I got anything else in here. Buckle up. Here we go. Okay. Yep. Students for Trump, Mark Levin. Be strong. Oh, there's so heavy.com did an article on it. Pretty wild. This is worth remembering, Shady. This is 23rd July of 19. Tweet of Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz, and he is calling for an investigation into Antifa under RICO, Shady.
A year ago.
A year ago. Worth remembering.
And remember, Rudy Giuliani has talked about RICO quite extensively. That's what was used in New York City to take down a lot of the mob people. And I would just like to, refer to you to the idea that the mob, what is the mob? Who's the mob? The NPCs. The mob is out there and they are acting like a mob. The mob is out there and they are acting like a Biden. The mob is out there and they're acting like a Pelosi. The mob is out there and they act like a cartel. The mob is out there and they act like the church.
Right. 100%.
Okay? Mob is a mob.
Democracy is mob rule.
That's right. A republic is not mob rule.
In a republic, you are an individual. You are you.
And you are innocent until proven guilty. In a democracy, it is you have to prove your innocence.
And the media tries the case for you.
Yeah, you're tried in the court of public opinion, much like you're seeing with General Flynn, Papadopoulos, and quite a few others who have been raked over the coals. I think there was how many interviews? 500 different people they interviewed. I mean, they went after everybody.
Everybody. So this is interesting. Only 120 likes and 68 retweets, guys. These are being hidden big time. If you guys could, retweet or like or something, but these are being suppressed. Shady, I wanted to go over this real quick. Today at 8:45, our president tweeted November 3rd, Shady.
Which is a pretty good sized marker.
Q post 26, November 1st. Think about it logically. The only way is the military, fully controlled, safe, and spread. Once 11.3 verifies as first marker. Biggest advanced drop on poll.
Q post number 26.
26, yep.
And we have, I was going to say there's the other 11.3 references as well.
That's right.
This was Q post number 2, I think.
Yeah, this was Q post number.
Oh no, this one 15. That was 15.
More good than bad, right? Then we go to here. This is proof to begin 11-3. So this is Q Post 25. We don't say his name. That's John McCain. Proof to begin 11-3. Interesting. So thank you, Nightbaker. The only way is the military, guys. Pretty wild. So if you want to check that out, there's a, oh, that's interesting. Q 11-13, right? Because 11-3 would be 11-3. 113. Look at that. It's about the media and Facebook. Relevant. That's who's helping their, what is it? Infiltration. Insurgency. That's right. Oh my gosh. So thank you for that. Good. This is MSDNC knowingly using fake footage. MSDN pushing America on fire narrative. Why? Enemy of the people Q. We did just get a new Q post that said that this is a meme. It is not true. But they still are talking about fire. Even Nancy Pelosi came on. I think Carly had the video. She was talking about fire. She wasn't saying stop the protest. She was talking about fire.
Nope. Yeah. She was saying start fires, much like Omar was saying the other day whenever she was calling out all the vigilantes to action.
That's right.
It's hidden. You know, they say the opposite.
That's
of
right.
what they mean.
Absolutely. Projection. All right, Shady. This is Carluska P. This is our very own Carly.
Gets cute again.
Sums it up perfectly. We didn't see this one, so let's check it out. I mean, I saw it earlier, but here we go.
What happened here is not typical.
Congratulations, Carly.
When I've talked about fighting for the heart and soul of our nation, that's what we're fighting against right now. The heart and soul of our nation is our middle class. It defines our culture. It's where we serve people. We love each other. We come together. What we're up against is Marxism. We have an enemy out there. And what we're seeing right now is the true evil of that. And we have to understand that we find this in most of these blue states, where you have governors who have not only shut down businesses for the last 3 months, don't want to open them up, and then you have these mayors who actually allow these people to come in and just destroy business across the board. These small businesses, where our economy will come back strong, and we have Marxists that are actually up against that. So we have to realize what our enemy is. I'm looking forward to a president looking at these people as terrorists, because that's who they really are, and they need to pay the price for being so.
Burgess, we've seen these protests, which were justified, take a different turn, and it's just outrageous to see this looting and to see these riots. When you first saw that video of George Floyd, and now when you look at the video of all the rioting, the looting, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we're all together as a country to realize that was a heinous deed done to George. Nothing like that should ever be done to any American here. We have to realize it's not about George anymore. It's about our country. It's about those who hate our nation. And I'm going to be straight up front with you. For those in the Democratic Party, look at your leadership. You have evil being done by your leadership. People want to see hurt and harm to American people, our economy, pain. That's what they do in every single state they live in, and every single city they oversee. We need to make sure that this same party that once has a terrorist arm, the KKK, now has a terrorist arm, the Antifa. The only difference is in the covering is the color. Whether it be white or black, the covering is different, but it's the same process. So we have to understand who we're up against. And for my Democratic friends out there, realize what your party is doing right now. They're trying to divide us. We cannot stand for this. We cannot stand to lose our American way. And our business owners have to be given an opportunity to come back strong and do what they do best.
Very well said, sir.
Very well said.
That's a boom. That is a boom.
We have Zippity Doodah out there says that afraid that the National Guard is going to act the way that they did during Katrina and come around confiscating firearms. That is not going to happen. The National Guard will not be going door to door to collect firearms. If that were a possibility, then you would have saw a different reaction from the president whenever the COVID shutdown began. At the beginning of the COVID shutdown, remember, they were trying to deem gun stores and ammo as non-essential. The president came out and said they're absolutely essential.
Yep.
We have sold tons and tons of firearms and ammo in the last 3 months. the National Guard will not be going door to door to take away your guns. They were under a different regime, and I say regime during Katrina, and I say regime in reference to 41, 42, 43, and 44.
Yes.
Regime.
Well said. Your president, Zippity Doodah, Zippity A, is a staunch Second Amendment supporter, guys. Okay? Trust it. And we'll call it out if it happens, but I don't think it's gonna happen. This is very well said, Shady. Very glad. I'm glad you're glad, Zippity. 4379 sums it up perfectly. Black community used as pawns? Welcome to the D Party. Unity creates peace. Unity is humanity. Q, this is who we are, guys. This is who we are. We are understanding who the enemy is. Let's check this out. This is a 15-minute video.
What's up, world?
We're not gonna play the whole thing.
And I haven't.
Let's just check out a little bit of this.
Been hitting nobody in the head. I've been doing a whole lot of growth, a whole lot of growing in the last about year and a half, 2 years. And I want to make this video because, you know, I've been concentrating on just family and close friends and whatnot, and just kind of leaving the movement to the professionals. And it was just like, you know, I'm basically say it like this. Around the time, I say, probably the end of 2015, somewhere in there, probably going into 2016.
We're gonna watch the whole thing, Shady. People are saying it's good. Let's watch it. Love you guys.
I began to notice infiltrators coming into the movement, which is already, it's been like this for a long time, but I actually started to see them all online, making fake pages, and basically these fake people, part of the black movement or whatever you want to call it, were basically, you know, feeding off our emotions, trying to get us involved in things that we're not involved in, trying to get us to believe in things that we weren't familiar with, and basically pushing us to be more left and democratic. And one thing I want to say right now is, if you are a revolutionary or anything like that, you're not even supposed to believe in politics. So for the people who still are believing that this movement, this black movement, even some of these white movements are legit, man, you have a lot of growing to do. I'm gonna say it again, you have a lot of growing to do. And I'm gonna concentrate right now anyway on the black leaders. Okay, the black leaders, a lot of the black leaders, and I wanna hit with this video. A lot of the black leaders are straight leading us to our demise. Okay, they have us working, doing their dirty work. For us, their dirty work, I mean the far left's dirty work. They got us working basically for them, because how they're getting us is they're playing us emotionally. And they're basically saying how racist and how messed up guys are the far right and the neo-Nazis are, because they need all the help that they can get. So they're getting the gays, they're getting people of other cultures, the people of the far left. I'm talking about the far left. I'm getting somewhere with this. They're getting gays, they're getting black people, anybody who doesn't like Donald Trump. They're basically trying to get you to fight for a war that is being started on American turf very, very soon. And they want us to be a part of their side. What I'm trying to get the black population to understand and understand, and this is critical, is the movement has been compromised. Okay, everybody needs to know that the RBG movement has been compromised. BLM, if you are not caught up to BLM, it is not even a real black organization. It never was. I actually feel bad that I've been keeping a lot of this information cooped up for so long, but I just felt like, you know, it wasn't getting anywhere. But now things are about to go ahead and hit the fan. Anyways, if you have any kind of brain, you know BLM is endorsed by the Soros in the Clinton family. If you have any kind of a brain, you know that those same people don't give a damn about you, don't give a damn about black people, don't give a damn. They're exploiting the black plight to make money off of you. They're using your emotions, and based off what has happened to you, they're using that against you so you can join these evil demonic people to help fight the people on the far right. They want, or not even the far right. I want to make this simple. The left is going against the right. It's a huge civil war that's being planned out. I want to make this simple. It's happening right now. And what they want is for everybody to choose a side consciously or subconsciously. Now, a lot of these white boys and a lot of these white people, they've already chosen their side. Okay? And what I'm saying to these people is, my people, is you're setting yourself up to get slaughtered. Okay? Become armed. Okay? Become aware. Know what's going on within the system. Because right now, there is hidden powers who are controlling the narrative. And they're brainwashing you to feel a certain way about the system, about white people, about every race, and about yourselves. Do not let these beasts, do not let these evil people do this. And I'm not talking about any particular race, man. You got black people, man. Like I said, the movement has been compromised. There is no black RBG movement. If you were claiming BLM, you a real sad motherfucker. For the simple fact that BLM has always, and from the very beginning, was being promoted and being paid for by Soros and Clinton. If you think that these people who've never given a damn about you, all of a sudden, they care about the black man's plight. All of us, man, y'all pay attention. Y'all really got to pay attention. I'm getting somewhere with this, I promise. All of a sudden, these white people on the left, and they've been doing this, but all of a sudden, they, you know, are supporting the black plight. This is all to get as many numbers as they can on their side to fight this civil war that they're planning out, that they're already being prepared for. You're going to have to choose a side. Don't set yourself up to get slaughtered. This is all a big setup. It's huge propaganda. The biggest propaganda that could be happening right now. And what I want people to understand and understand is that we got to put the race thing to the side right now. We have to put it to the side because we have to understand what's going on and what's important. And the reason why it's so important on black people, because I know black people are like, okay, the left versus the right, what does that have to do with us? Because the people on the left are trying to use us. The people on the left are using us. The Democratic Party are using black people to fight their war with Antifa, with it's getting very, very deep. If you don't know who Antifa is, look Antifa up. Basically a terrorist group. I don't know what people's belief system is. You can call them what you want to call them, but they're basically like a militant group, and they're anti-fascist. That's what Antifa stands for. It stands for anti-fascist. And with that being said, this group is being paid for by, you guessed it, the younger Rothschilds, the Clintons, and the Soros. And the media is downplaying this group. They're not telling people about this group. But people on the far left are trying to get black people and as many people who are part of the far left to join this side. And what they want to do is they want to take the guns away from the people on the far right. Their whole plan is to even a playing field, because the people on the far right, they deal with guns. They have all the guns. And right now, as it stands, the people on the left are set to get slaughtered. That's why they're pushing gun laws. They're pushing gun laws for the simple fact that if you're able to take some of these guns away, because Trump is implementing more gun laws. I don't care what people feel about Trump. I'm not reacting on feelings right now. I don't want people to come and be talking about how they feel about people. You think I'm a big Trump fan? No. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm just giving the information as I get it. This is happening, yo. This is happening right now. November 4th is the day that Antifa has pledged that this war is going to begin. November 4th, 2017. And I want everybody to know that it's already here with this whole Las Vegas thing. Okay. With them attacking that country in Las Vegas, that country music show or whatever in Las Vegas, it was pretty much all white people. That was a direct hit. That was a direct hit from the left party. I don't know if you can say Antifa did it, but it was a direct hit from the left going against the right. What I want black people, my people, to understand is don't get involved in something that has nothing to do with y'all. And take this information. Don't let the blacks and Hispanics to run with this information. Take this information, run with this information. This information is out there. If you don't take my word for it, do your own damn research, because it may be some things that I'm not wording right. It may be some things that I'm not saying right. I'm trying to get people to understand, my people in particular to understand, and everybody to understand that our little minor differences right now, because trust me, I'm pro-black. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm representing. It don't matter right now, though. It don't matter right now, though. It don't matter. You don't fuck with black people and you white. Hey, man, that's your prerogative. That's not what the conversation is right now. That's not what's going on right now. Is so much bigger. So much bigger than the race issue. And if people ask me, Chaziel, so which side are you going to choose? Which side are you going with? If you got to choose the smart side, I'm damn sure not about to go over there with Hillary and the Soros. Come on, you got to use your brain. As much as you have to be strategic in your movements. As much as you feel however you feel about the right, they are straightforward. The people on the left are lying to you and trying to get you to do their dirty work and get slaughtered. We represent 12% of the population. Okay. You can be whatever you want to be. I ain't trying to dictate what you want to do, but just be strategic in how you move, man. You black people are still running around talking about hands up, don't shoot. Talking about take a knee, kneeling at the football game. You got celebrities being endorsed by these, because they know the best way to get Negroes is through entertainment. We're entertained. But these white people on the far right, they ready, you know, and I ain't trying to juice nobody up. I'm trying to gas nobody up, man. I ain't got time for it. I'm just giving you the information as I'm presented it. I ain't got time to try to gas them up and try to make it sound like it's this and this, that. Look, man, all I'm saying is, hey, they got their guns. They ready to go. They ready to go. While we're sitting up trying to be cute, drinking white tears and shit, this is serious, yo. This is 100% serious now. And they're going to use you, nigga, and emotionally, they're going to get you attached to their little movement, Antifa and all this bullshit, to get your head blown off. Strategically learn how to move. Running around with RBG shirts talking about fuck America. What part of strategy is that? But this has already been 15 minutes, man. It is so much more. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. The video already 15 minutes long. Do your own research. And white people, you do it because I ain't trying to make this about race. They coming after you. White, black, Mexican, they are coming after us. I just want to put that out there, let y'all know for a minute, hey man, this is what's going on. Go on and arm yourselves. Your main man, Chaziel Sons. God bless.
God bless you, my friend.
Holla at you.
Chaziel Sons, former Black Lives Matter. Ferguson, he was involved with Ferguson. He knows, guys. He knows. He left the organization. God bless you, sir. Shady.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Q tagged that video. If you didn't notice that video, I think I saw that video first even way back right around the time when Q first started to post is whenever I actually saw that. So that's a bit of an old video, but the message is clear and should be very relevant to you from seeing your current landscape out there.
100%. And, you know, who would know? He knew. Yeah, Q dropped that. 43.79.
Yep, that was a Q drop just this morning.
Yes, 12:08. 12:08. Morning for you, just right after afternoon for me. But look at this, guys. I am glad I played that video, Shady, and watched it again. I remember. So let's think back to Ferguson. Do you remember Ferguson? And there was a bunch of awesome streamers out there, and I got hooked. Like I was watching every stream. I was bouncing. There was like a website you could go to and follow all the streamers. And they showed Molotov cocktails, you know, hidden for people. They showed bricks. They showed everything, man. They you know, just like the man with the umbrella busting the windows. Who is that guy? You know, so he knows who paid him. He was high up in the movement, right? He knows that it's Rothschilds. He said the little Rothschilds. He said Soros and Clinton. And so what ended up happening, Shady, is that they were told to burn down specific buildings because they wanted to do a city
replanning.
Yeah, a replanning, right? And they needed to either destroy the buildings, knock them down, or get the owners out.
Sounds a lot like mob.
Right. So that not rezoning, but the redevelopment plan was, you know, it's also, they wanted to do it in the green way, right? So redevelopment, right? For, you know, global warming and all that stuff. But agenda, yes, thank you, truth in plain sight. But that's how crazy it is. I want to show you this one video that John out there, John, you know who you are, my brother. And Shady, you know John. Check this out, my friend.
Patrol vehicles that is parked right behind it. So that's the fear here with these vehicle fires is it
guys
could
got
spread to
M4,
some other nearby
guys.
Vehicles. Also a concern
Boom.
about that building that is nearby. And it appears as if there's some folks that are trying to All right, it looks like
Look
there's
at this
some type
guy,
of weapon
Shady.
there. We're going to break away from that shot.
Break away. We can't have that on the news.
Obviously a very,
Look
scary
at this
fluid
amazing
situation.
gentleman, whether he's active duty, a police officer, special force, who knows? A lot of military and police bring their bug out bags with them all the time, right? This guy is absolutely a hero, Shady.
Yeah, because there was getting ready to be mayhem.
Wow.
It was going to happen fast.
And that guy knew what he was doing.
But we also have the reports of steel containers, like, evergreen containers being parked and loaded with munitions and weapons and stuff that have been cached around different cities too.
So here's George Floyd's, Jackie, breaking news. Thank you, Jackie. George Floyd's family releases independent autopsy showing death caused by asphyxia from sustained pressure. Now, I see you guys out there in chat questioning it, question everything. Yes. We need to question everything. I'm not really going to go into it right now because I'm focused on this part. Let me show you what I'm focused on. I'm focused on this, Shady. I'm focused on law and order now. I'm focused on them to stop looting our stores. I'm waiting for the National Guard to finally get in there. That's what we want.
And stand their ground.
Shady, look at Q Post 22. Will you read that for me, my brother?
Who controls the National Guard? Why was the National Guard recently activated in select cities within the U.S.? Can the National Guard work in coordination with the Marines? And do conditions need to be satisfied to authorize? What former president used the military to save the republic, and what occurred exactly? Biggest drop to ever be provided on poll. Study and prepare. The masses tend to panic in such a situation. No war, no civil unrest, clean and swift.
This is coming, Shady.
Yes, it is.
Clean and swift.
And remember, I just had the post up less than a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, where I'm quoting this and explaining to people that the National Guard is not your enemy. The National Guard is going to be used to protect you from the domestic terrorists. Now, wherever that line is drawn, I don't know, but I will say this. They have made a stunning coordinated effort in multiple municipalities over the last 20 years to get some of the most hateful, steroid-addicted, racist people as police officers in these districts.
Yep.
Okay?
The dirtiest get elevated. They get promotions. Yep.
Yes, that's right. The racists in the government councils are mandating the racist be on the police force, and then they can stand and point at the racist on the police force as against them, when in reality, they're on the same team from the jump. And this has to be rooted out of law enforcement. I mean, if you live in California, if you've looked at some of the badges of those sheriffs, you've seen the symbols on these badges, the quote unquote pedo symbols on badges. So this is out there, this is happening, and this is coordinating, and it is decades in the making. This moment you're experiencing right now is decades in the making. And just imagine where you would be 3.5 years after she had won.
Shady, I want you to read this warning to them.
If you continue to proceed down this dangerous path, only know that we are prepared. You should know this based on earlier drops regarding Saudi Arabia, National Guard, military assets activated, U.S. soil. The game is over when the public knows. The fight to keep the lights off is all that matters to you. You will fail. The American people are awake. You lost control. Sheep no more. You underestimated their resolve and their ability to free think away from the pipeline narrative. We will declass. We will shine light. There is nowhere to hide. No amount of money, influence, or power can stop this. Our rights to secure and protect at all costs then become justified. We stand at the ready. Red wave, white squall. In God we trust. Q.
Boom. You guys are ready. We are ready. We've been witnessing a lot of trauma. It affects us. We have feelings. We're regular people. but we will win.
And we'll also carefully balance our emotions with our logic. We will use both of those tools in synchronicity to not only manifest our future, but to also expose darkness.
Darnkiss?
Remember, we have
Darnkiss, remember?
we have dominion,
Yeah.
guys. You have dominion over evil. Realize that. If you face evil and you are scared, then it tricks you. What is there to really fear? Evil really can't get to you unless you invite it in. So remember that you are the cure, because you will not overreact out of emotional stimuli. You will notice over emotional stimuli, and then you will balance that with your logical, reasonable self, and you will come to accurate conclusions based on what you are actually seeing.
100%. Boom. Shady. We forgot our power, but look at how far we've come all together, guys. We couldn't do it if we weren't together. We couldn't do it if we weren't focused on the same thing. I mean, Shady, wow. Wow. All right, so 4380, my friend. Cuomo warns that the protests could spark coronavirus comeback in New York.
Boogie, 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 boogie.
So attempting to establish a new narrative, riots, creating a second COVID-19 wave, loss of control first wave, regain control necessary regarding vote by mail. Hey, if you can loot and riot, you can vote. You can vote in person, Shady. Just saying.
Sure can. Sure can.
So regain control necessary regarding vote by mail, regarding D-state bailouts, regarding economy, unemployment, kill, etc. All assets deploy, win by any means necessary. 2020 presidential election. Q. What do we got to do on November 3rd, Shady? What do you guys got to do?
We got to vote in person for Donald John Trump.
Boom. Shady, let's take this one. 4381, my friend.
No civility unless D's win congressional control. Translation: MSDNC will incite and push division unless D controlled established. Think pre-midterms. Think pre-2020 presidential election now. Reconcile. One is one. The only thing that matters to them is regaining power. Prevent public learning of the truth. Prevent accountability. Self-preservation. These people are sick. Q.
You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about. That's why I believe if we are fortunate enough to win back the House and/or the Senate, that's when civility can start again. But until then, the only thing that the Republicans seem to recognize and respect is strength. You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about. That's why I believe if we are fortunate enough to win back the House and/or the Senate, that's when civility can start again. But until then, the only thing that the...
That's a call to action, and that's direct threats.
That is a threat.
That's complete BS.
We'll stop burning down your cities if we get control.
Yeah, give us control back, and we'll let you go back to work.
So why does the MSM want us divided? Why are they denying Antifa as domestic terrorists? Correcting themselves even when they use the word riot. Because they are the enemy of the people, Shady. But they are receiving marching orders from this thing right here, guys.
Yep.
Ugh. Sorry, guys. Eye bleach. Passing it around. All right, so this is a police order to stand down by D mayors and D governors. Antifa coordinated safe zones. Q. And I think we saw this one, but let's just...
At the beginning, yeah.
Whatever. Yep, this is the police officer standing there, and a non-Black Lives Matter person. I'm just going to say that she's...
Not black?
She's not black, Shady.
Okay.
I mean, geez. Good catch, and unconfirmed. Q corrected himself. Thank you, Q. we all can make a mistake every now and again, right? And Shady, I think we want to end, I want to end this with this right here. You guys have been amazing. I needed you guys today, Shady. I needed each and every one of you today. It's been a rough weekend. Shady and I, didn't have a show on Friday, and all hell breaks loose, Shady.
Yep.
Wow. So thanks for sticking in here with us, guys. Thanks for hopping multiple streams when my streaming software was doing fine. It did not disconnect, so there was something there. Pains, angels, united we can, Shady.
Much love, guys.
Much love. Much, much love.
I want to start by asking everyone to please give this short video a chance. I am not trying to persuade anyone's political views, but trying to open our eyes to a common cause. No matter what you stand by politically, no matter what your background, no matter what your social stance, I will always treat you with the same decency and tolerance, because I will always respect our rights to see things differently without losing sight that in the end, we are all God's children. No matter how you decide to structure a society, you will always find yourself amongst those who lead and those who follow, those that engineer a plan and those that fulfill it. It is a natural movement to ensure a sense of order is maintained, whether you are in a corporation or in an isolated tribe. Just like the generals in our many militaries and the brave men and women whose boots actually touch the ground, the best leaders realize that rank is the only thing that makes them any different. Good generals are well read, but great generals realize what men to assign to what tasks, leading their men through example rather than through words. They realize that the stars on their shoulder would not be possible if it was not for their privates and their staff sergeants. They not only know how to see an individual's strengths, but they know how to utilize them, making their companies function without missing a step. However, unlike the military, when it comes to picking the leader of our country, the Congress, the senators who represent us, the people are given the power, and it is up to us to ensure we pick noble leaders, and that right is never tread upon in any manner. The last 3 years, we have watched Hollywood, the Democrats, and the left-wing media try to take down a fairly elected president, metaphorically spitting in our faces, acting as if they really know what's best for us, and we are just a bunch of slack-jawed yokels with poor deplorable judgment. By ignoring voter fraud, or not even getting out to the ballot box at all, we failed our president last November, which has only created a bigger circus in our government. Congress is doing nothing for the people, spending all of its resources trying to find a crime to impeach a president who has only done a world of good for our country. We have spent those years hearing about all the awful things that Trump was going to do to our country, but not one of those predictions have transpired. One attempt after another to destroy Trump has failed, and the Mockingbird media plays along with the same repeated lies handed out to all of them at 4 a.m. Not only should we be outraged, we should be absolutely frightened at the utter lack of due process. Sadly, not only is there a lack of fair justice available, they are using all these lies to hide their own treasonous crimes, which just makes them even more relentless. I will never be suspicious of the financial records of a billionaire that became a public servant, but I will always be skeptical of those who became millionaires as public servants. With the corruption in our world's governments becoming more apparent, I can see the countries around the world falling into disarray more every day. And if we do not all start fighting soon, we will lose our country to the people hell-bent on destroying it. In the United States, one of the most frightening examples is a bill that has been introduced to the 116th Congress called the H.R. 1111. This has only been introduced because it could not possibly pass Senate at this point. So they have held it until after the elections, or in their hopes that Trump will be impeached. This bill gives our country's rights and sovereignty over to the United Nations, an unelected global organization dictating our liberties, rights, and laws. I can't think of anything more unconstitutional. This introduction is endorsed by nearly 40 congressmen, including the Squad, with 100% Democrat sponsorship. This is what we have coming if we do not play our part in this war. And I would take the time to read this yourself, as it is public information. It is beyond question, after seeing the recent state elections, that Trump's biggest opponent in the 2020 elections is going to be voter fraud. 2 states voting mainly red lose governorship with 40,000 more last-minute votes than any other of the elections that took place on the same ballot. I have never left boxes unchecked on a ballot, especially in a time where the stakes are so high. I must add that I am not a Republican, but I am a constitutionalist, and I would never take a chance by not voting red with socialism being whispered about on the horizon. The deep state was once presented by the media as a conspiracy, until the day they subtly changed their presentation to it being real, but made up of patriots trying to save our republic. The same republic that they are so desperately trying to dismantle. They think that the people are too stupid to see the wordplay that the mainstream media mimics in unison. We need to see through the manipulation and realize that no matter what color, religion, or political affiliation, that we are all on the same side and seeking the same liberties and freedoms. You often do not realize what you have until it's gone, and in this case, once it's gone, we will have lost any chance of regaining it without war. The only move that the evil world crime syndicate has left is to further divide the people while convincing us that they are the mighty many and we are the feeble minority. They know if we came together, both blue and red, our numbers would be unstoppable because it is true. United we stand, divided we fall.
Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt? Nope. Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? Well, how about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
This is why it is important for us all, at the very least, be loud and consistent about our enforcement of a voter ID. It is equally fair whether you are independent, Democrat, or Republican to know that our elections are being monitored for fraud. I think for the sake of argument, voter ID should be handed out to everyone without out-of-pocket costs to the citizen. I, for one, would have no problem with a few tax dollars being spent for the protection of our most influential right. I used to laugh at the suggestion of one vote being important, but in the last 3 years, I realized how valuable that single vote really is. If we sit at home now, we may literally lose everything down to our religions. We are the silent majority, but from this day on, we can't take the freedoms that we have now for granted. We all have some role that we can play in this war of information, and nothing is less important than the next when it comes to supporting our president and exposing the truth. So by Election Day, there should be no question that we will never surrender our country, and the world will know just how loud the silent can be.
Thank you guys for joining us today. We love you very much. See you guys tomorrow.
We will make America great again.
And I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people. underestimate the people. Never. I don't think it'll ever